What if I tell you that most of the time, people who are not building wealth, it's not just related to that they are broke or they don't have enough money or because the economy is, going bad. It's only because of their fear of losing their money, fear of not having enough knowledge, fear of not investing their money in the right places. I can say this because I was in the same place, and there was something I did. Actually, I cracked the code of financial investment, and in this video I am going to show you exactly what I did. So stay with me because in a few minutes I'm going to take you what exactly I did and what exactly you can do to actually build financial confidence and wealth. So welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what I did to actually have financial confidence and what you can do to have financial confidence while you're working. Let's suppose you have a job 9 to 5 or you have some money, you're getting some salary. I'm going to tell you the first and foremost thing is before investment. Okay, let's say you don't have any knowledge, you have zero experience on investment. So how you have to start or where you will begin basically. So you will start first by, if you have any loan or any debt, you have to clear those because you don't want to invest and put your money somewhere and while you are having some loans. So first and foremost, your priority is to clear your debts. Any loan, any debt you have to clear it. That's first. Second, while you're clearing your loan or your debts, or if it's credit card or whatever it is, while you're clearing that, you're also saving some money, maybe 15% or something. You have to call this as an emergency fund. This emergency fund, basically, why it's called emergency fund, it is in case of emergency, whatever happened, God forbid, you have some of your 3 to 6 month expenses covered in your emergency fund. So how you decide your emergency fund is basically what are your monthly expenses. So you multiply that with times 6, that will be your 6-month emergency fund. Or if you multiply it with times 3, that will be your 3 months monthly expenses. Now it is up to you how, like if you want like 9 months of expenses or emergency fund, it's like how you want to feel or how you want to have that security or that confidence when you feel like things are changing in and around you. So second thing, you're building your savings and you're putting in an emergency fund. You call it an emergency fund. Third thing is like when you have some savings now. So finally we reach to a step then when we have some savings. So first, let's understand what investing is. Investment or investing your money is basically when you invest your money is making money out of that. You're not doing anything. You kept it there and it's doing the work. It's basically generating money for you while you're not working on that money. So there are different ways of actually investment. So first of all, if you have a lot of money, let's say you have a huge amount of money that you can actually afford to buy, for example, a real estate, any property. You are buying a house or you are buying a house for yourself. Okay, before going to that, there is something you have to understand. There are two things called asset and liabilities. Asset is something that after some time its value is going to increase and it's going to generate money for you or wealth for you. Whereas liability is something that is going to take money from you. So with time, its value is going to decrease, and when its value decreases, you have to invest or you have to put money for it. For example, if you buy a car, right? So it has maintenance cost. It has like you have to spend for fuel, maintenance, and after some time you can't use it, like for up to 5 years or 10 years, let's say your car need to be changed. So but it will bring you less amount of money as compared to the price which you bought this car for. Now, for example, your own house itself, if it's going to cost you like the maintenance charges or any taxes or whatsoever, if you do the calculation, sometime your own house is a liability. It's not an asset. So depending on the calculation, depending where you live, and depending on the the prices. For example, if you sometimes they say when you rent or when you own a house, it's a different. For example, when you rent, maybe you're not actually giving a lot of or spending a lot of money. And whereas when you have a house, when you buy a house, and if you don't afford, so definitely you took a loan. So the amount of money you are paying per month for like 30 years or 20 years to actually own this house, sometime when you rent, it might be better for you. So it all depends upon where do you live, what are the the financial conditions or your expenses and taxes, if you live in a tax country that actually charges taxes. So for example, you have a lot of money that if you can buy a house, that's really good. You have the enough cash to directly buy a house, or you don't require any loan, for example. But so let's say if you have property and you want to rent it, but this thing, it will generate rent for you. So per month you are getting something, and there will be a time where it will break even. So for example, the cost or the money which you spent to buy this property, now it's going to pay you more. But it's all depend on so many things. Again, you have to do the calculation, the maintenance cost. So for example, good. And how do you understand if you do the calculation? For example, if you buy a property, okay, and you give it to the rent, so people who are going to give you something per month, so there will be a time, for example, after 5 years or after 10 years, that the property which you buy for this amount is now going to generate money, and this money is the cost of this property. So after this years actually you will generate income out of this property, so you are getting something out of it. This is in the cases where you have a lot of money and it's really good in that scenario, then you will get like monthly income, right? But in the cases when, for example, you have to take a huge loan and you have different expenses, and you can't just rely on the people living in this house, like they're giving you rent. They might come and they might go, and for several months it's going to be like there will be no one going to take it for rent. Then you are going to be in a bit of, in a situation where you feel like, did I do the right thing or no? So this is one thing, but there are different alternatives to this also. So another thing where you can invest your money, and that's something really safe way to invest your money. A lot of women do this, and that is actually buying something physical metal. So what is that something physical metals? Is basically gold. You can wear the gold. It's a beautiful jewelry, and metal too. And its value is going to depend on the market. So sometimes its value increases, sometimes it decreases. So the best time to actually buy gold is when its value is definitely less. And if you really need, or you're doing it for investment purposes, then you sell it the time when its price is actually in the peak. So there's one thing so important here. Nothing changes all of a sudden. So it takes years. It takes literally time and patience to build wealth. Wealth doesn't just anything that's like quick, rich, schemes that are basically scams. And try to avoid those as much as you can. So when it comes to investment, there are basically like high risk and more security. You have to factor these two conditions. So for example, in case of gold, the risk is not that much, right? But you have to wait a lot to let its price to get to, for example, 2 to 3 times of what you got it for. It has to be the number one thing you invest your money. It has to be your brain here, your mind, your brain, your thoughts, your skills. See, tomorrow anything happens, all of this, okay, you're building wealth, everything is good when the external factors, when geopolitical situation, everything is really going well, everything is really going good. God forbid something happened tomorrow, your wealth is not going to come and save you. That security, that confidence, it's never should be from the wealth. It has to be from your own self. You have to have skills, you have to have knowledge, you have to have those. These are those assets which no one can take it away from you. So believe it or not, the first and the most priority, if I'm going to invest, okay, and if I am going to invest, like today, I'm going to invest in courses and skills and degrees and in stuff that actually give me the confidence, they give me the security that even if I lose anything tomorrow, I know that I have my brain working, I can generate money through it. That has to be your confidence. Okay, so another way to actually to invest your money or to get your money, to use it in a way that it generates money for you, is doing something, a side hustle. For example, if you have any skills or if you have any side hustles or a business or a project, anything you call it. So a lot of women, they do these things. So if you're good in something, if you are, it's related to, like cooking, it's related to anything like dress designing or any skills you have and you can use it to have a business, that's really good. Initially, your business is not going to work or to generate you money. It's all you have to spend a lot, or you have to think how you have to actually to scale it. But when it reaches to a level, and when it reaches to a level where it's giving to you or it's generating money, then it's really going to give you a lot of profit. Okay, another way to invest your money is through stock market. So stock market is something a lot of people, especially women, they don't have this confidence on how to invest in a stock market. And as I'm a Muslim, and I'll be talking about halal stocks. Halal stocks is basically anything that is not including interest, which is riba, and anything that is, for example, pork or alcohol or gambling. It also has a factor that if the uncertainty level or the ratio is way too high, like you're investing your money and you don't know the loss or the profit margin, it's way too uncertain. All of these are those stocks which Muslims should not invest. If you are actually looking for barakah in your wealth, if you're looking for pleasing Allah with your wealth, and if you're looking for halal investment. So in any company, if, for example, if this company is related to gambling or pork or alcohol or riba, anything like this, you should not invest as a Muslim if you want the halal investment. And where you should invest. Okay, so if you are someone who has no confidence, for example, if you're new, if you don't know, then there are so many apps which are genuine app. Personally, I use Sarwa and Wahid. I'm going to link in my description those the link of those apps. So they are going to do it for you. You just have to have an initial amount. When you put it there, it's going to invest for you because it's going to have a halal. It will going to build for you a halal portfolio, and you are going to put money in it, and they are going to invest for you. So they are going to invest it for you, and so the invest it for you in companies that are basically dealing and are Sharia compliant companies. So you are safe, your money is safe, it's halal, and you can build wealth through it. One more important thing I want to say, investing in the stock market, it fluctuates. It's like you buy something for $100 or $10 or anything. Tomorrow its value might be $100 tomorrow, or maybe it's going to be $0. So you'll be like, I lost all my money, or maybe I gained some money. If you are putting money in the stock market, it has to be for a long term. It has to go for like 10 years or 5 years, mostly 10 years. So put the amount which you know that you don't need it for in the 10 years. And you don't have to look every day like how much is generating for me, how much is going to, like it's working for me, because there are days it's going to be zero, there are days it's going to be twice what you invested. So it all depends on the level of the stock markets, all depend on the conditions, all depend on the company which you have invested, how it is doing. Another most important thing, a tip which I want to give you, is that invest in those companies or in those businesses that you like, that you use, that you can understand. And the best part of these apps is they're halal and they are going to work for you in that way. So this topic is so huge, and it is something I really want to talk more. I'm going to make another video, which will be the part 2, which I'm going to discuss more on how Muslims can actually invest through the stock market. And when you're investing, don't invest all your money in one company. So if you want to be your individual, like, you want to just invest and you want to look at those numbers or figures, don't invest all your money in one company. Make a diversified portfolio for yourself. One company which is, for example, related to this aluminum or oil or whatever, make it something diverse. Don't let all your eggs in one basket. So if this company is going bad, it's like all your money went and that's it. So you have to be smart enough to actually invest. It's not necessary, you don't have to have like understand rocket science or some science to understand this. It's something really a wise advice that don't invest all your money in one company, have a diversified portfolio. The best thing is actually ETFs. There are halal ETFs. When you invest through these apps, Sarwa or Wahid, they are going to put your money in a way that you don't lose all your money, or they're not going to put it actually in one company. So for example, so ETFs is basically the halal ETFs. It's a group of the companies. This is all halal. So one deal with some, for example, say software, one deal with oil, one deal with aluminum, one deal with solar cells, for example. So each of, for example, if you have $10 and you invest your $10, each of your dollars is going to go to $2 here, $2 here, $3 here. You're going to distribute your $10 in a way that it will buy a share, a small mini part of this company, and you are going to hold those shares. So in US market, there are companies, but there's this very famous, actually, this is S&P 500, or it's basically, it's a mix of halal and also those companies that are dealing with non-halal. So that is something, if you are Muslims and if you really you're practicing and you want to avoid all those haram thingies, so it's better that you stick with this. So I'm going to make a part 2 of this video, and I'm going to discuss more in details about the stock market and how does it work. But most importantly, if I was in your place and if I was going to invest, the number one priority for my investment will be on myself. Because what you have it here, no one can steal it from you. It's your asset. The market fluctuates, the geopolitical situations get worse. Whatever happens in the world, as long as you're healthy, as long as you have your brain, you have your skills, you have your degrees, you have your certification or courses or whatever, that is how how to generate money through this. Trust me, that is your number one asset, is your brain. Invest in yourself, invest in the courses, in the education, invest on the skills that you need to build up in order to actually generate money. At the end, money is a tool, and your psychology with the money has to be that money is your friend, it's not your enemy. And if you're a woman and if you're confused, and especially if you're a Muslim and if you are confused that if I really need to invest and if I really need to save, then Khadija radiallahu anha, she's the best example what she did with her money. When she had the money, she actually spent it for for charity, for giving it to for spreading Islam. So your money is not a bad thing. Having money is not a bad thing. Money is not an enemy. It's not an evil of all the the bad things happening in the world. It's a tool, and how you use your money, where you use your money, is actually that's basically has to be your intention. Your intention is to use it in a way, in a really good way, and to bring a better and a peaceful world. That has to be your intention. If you are and especially if you're in your 20s, I suggest that you enjoy your life. It's not always about saving and investment. That's really good, but there should be a fund or a way that you enjoy life. If you love to travel, go travel, because in this way you're also getting that experience, you're getting the education, you're getting the way how this world is moving, how the things are happening. So it's all, again, it's here. You're investing on yourself. It's the biggest and the best asset, I can say that. So if I was you, I would be my first and most important priority will be investing on myself, investing on those courses, on this education that actually help me to upgrade myself. That's what I'm gonna say. So I'm going to make a part 2 of this video, and please let me know in the comment that where are you exactly in your investment journey and how it is going, and how do you like this video. I'm going to make a part 2 where I'm going to go a little bit more details, because I cannot cover everything of the stock market and of the stocks and bonds, and there are so many things. So I'm going to cover it in another video, which I'm going to upload soon. But for the time being, I hope this video was really helpful, and I'm going to see you in the next video. See ya, tata, bye bye.